This Christmas, unlock a new digital world with 50% off selected smartphones from Digicel. Includes a 30-day Prime bundle to enjoy all your favorite Digicel apps. Buy the DL3 Pro for $9,750, the DL3 Pro Plus for $13,750, or Samsung A03 for $26,000. Get it for yourself or gift it to someone you love. Visit a Digicel store today. Digicel. Better together this Christmas.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Without further ado, let's get to the news in detail. The total budgetary allocation for fiscal year 2021 was approved in March last for a total of some $383.1 billion. But the government has already spent more than $52 billion that was represented in financial papers submitted to the House for approval. A total of 4 financial papers have been submitted to the House by the senior minister within the office of the President, Dr. Rashni Singh. The last 2 for almost $26 billion presented to the National Assembly during yesterday's sitting. The financial papers represent the government's accounting for funds issued from the contingency fund from the year. According to the finance minister, that money was used to provide for operational expenses to the Lands and Survey Commission and security expenses across the regions, in addition to cash grants for students, among other allocations. And now let's tell you, due to better salaries being offered in the private sector, GRA says it is having a difficult time keeping auditors it trained to oversee the oil and gas sector. It was noted in the 2020 Auditor General's report, it should be noted, that with the implementation of a new structure, the Petroleum Revenue Audit Department was changed to the Petroleum Revenue Department, and its functions were extended. We understand that the structure of the department also allows for a petroleum engineer and a cost recovery audit section with 20 officers, neither of which has been filled. GRA said the engineer has not been hired because of salary constraints, while the cost audit section is vacant because there is not yet a clear direction as to whether GRA would be the agency that will do cost audits or whether the cost audits would be done by external contract auditors in the first instance, since Guyana presently lacks such expertise. And moving on. Approximately 9,220, that should be 9,284 persons out of 11,098, or 83% who gained eligibility for the COVID-19 Pandemic Assistance Voucher, a program that was undertaken by the former APNU-AFC coalition, did not receive anything. This is according to the findings reported by the Office of the Auditor General. According to the AG report, a performance audit was conducted on the coalition's relief voucher program for the period March to September 2020 and found that only slightly over 1,000 persons received vouchers. Kaieteur calculates that the unpaid persons, using an even 9,000 of the qualified and a flat $25,000 per person, amounts to 225 million Ghana dollars in relief funds not handed over to strapped Guyanese. And now let's tell you, ESSO is planning to build its own shore base to service its 4th development in the Stabroek Block, Yellowtail, despite the fact it is yet to obtain any permits from the Guyana government. The disclosure was made this past week by ExxonMobil Guyana President and Country Manager Alistair Routledge during his address to the Georgetown Chambers of Commerce and Industries award ceremony in the presence of top local private sector officials, Vice President Bharat Jagdeo and Subject Minister Vikram Bharat. Routledge disclosed that the company has in fact been relocating its supply chain services to Guyana from neighboring Trinidad and Tobago. reminding his listeners that the company is currently in discussions with the government of Guyana with regard to approval for the Yellowtail development. Routledge said the company will be looking to build a shore-based Kaieteur for that facility. And analysts tell you in 2020, the government paid for supplies valued $1.615 billion. But up to when Auditor General Dheeraj Sharma and his team were making a review of the government spending for the fiscal year, the items were still undelivered. The AG's 2020 report noted that $1.615 billion were paid for the items to be delivered to the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Public Works, Ministry of Home Affairs, and Regions 7 and 1. But the items remain undelivered. According to the AG's report, of the $1.615 billion, the Ministry of Health had $1.568 billion of drugs and medical supplies paid for, but which had not yet been received. The report noted that the non-delivery of items can have a serious impact on the Health Ministry's ability to meet the needs of our citizens. The 2020 reports of massive amounts of undelivered medical supplies follows the 2018 account of a similar occurrence. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising